Hi, welcome to my video on the surface area of a square pyramid. Surface area of a square-based pyramid, right. The word right is here because the altitude, which is from the apex up here, is perpendicular to the base. So it makes it the altitude perpendicular to the base. That's why it's called a right angle. A square-based pyramid, a right one, has a square base A, B, C, D, and four congruent triangular faces intersecting at the same vertex 8. So HDA, HCB, HDC, and HAB are all triangular faces that are equal. The height HE of the pyramid is perpendicular to the base at the midpoint of the diagonals of the square base. So what they're saying is that the HE is perpendicular to the base, and if you drew the diagonal DB and AC, then E is the midpoint of those diagonals. That means that EF is a half of HC, or this midpoint over here on this side, which is whatever we want to call it, to E is half of BC, etc., etc. The height HF of the triangle is called the slant height of the side of the pyramid. So this is the side of the pyramid. We got four triangles, so they're going to be related to the lateral areas, because the lateral meaning pertaining to side. So this is HE is the height of the pyramid, but HF is the height of the triangle that's on the side. And F is the midpoint of this side. So we got a right here. If we had this one, you can't see it drawn down here, then if it was hitting here, this would be the midpoint of this side. Or if it was hitting right here, from H down to here would be hitting the midpoint of AD. So these heights of the triangles, because they're all congruent, hit at the midpoint of the side. And this diagram here gives more of an illustration. We have a square base. Notice the bottom is a S, 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 S. All the sides are equal, and you can't see it, but this is a square on the bottom, and they're all right angles in the corners. Right here, there, 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 and there. So S is the side of the pyramid. H is from the apex angle up here where the four sides meet. This is the height of the pyramid going to the midpoint of the square. Diagonals of the square, if I drew the diagonals. And S, we call this the L for slant height. L is for slant height. Some books call it S for slant height, but the S for the side of a square gets confused with the slant height of the side, so I'm going to call it L. It's not the length, like length times width in a rectangle. This is a triangle. We're talking about slant height of the side. And B is still the base area, and the base area here is a square. And that means that the area of a square is S squared. It's length times width, but the length and width are the same. The lateral area is made up of, there are four triangles for the lateral area, and the area of one triangle is half the base times the height. But in this case, the base of the triangle is the S, and the height of the triangle is the slant height of the pyramid. So just keep that in mind. It's still a triangle, half the base times the height area, but B is, in this case, is the S, the side of the edge length of the square of the pyramid, and L is the slant height of the side, or the height of the triangle. So we have the surface area is base area plus the lateral area. So we got a square, and we have four triangles. So we have 4 times 1/2 SL. So that's S squared is 2SL. But again, most people find one triangle and then multiply by 4 and without writing down 2SL. Let's work some of these out. I have a few, well, not in this case, it's just making sure you know. These questions here are making sure you understand what S is, what L is, and what H is. So here we have, this is understood to be a square base pyramid. So if FC is 8, if CF or FC is 8, that means MC, that means that BC is 8, BT is 8, TF is 8, so MC is 4 because M is the midpoint. And ML is also 4 because if that's 8, then 8 is across right there. So that's a 4 and a 4. So that's a 4. And if that's a midpoint there, then this is 8. So that's 4 and that's 4. So, and the base edges of the square pyramid, the base edges are BC, CF, FT, and BT. So these 4, BT, TF, CF, BC are the base edges. The height of the pyramid is AL. AL denotes the height of the pyramid, and the slant height is AM. B, we have 2 more to do, or this one to do anyway. We have more to do on the other pages. If GJ is 10, GJ is 10, that means that HG is 10, HI is 10, JI is 10. So what happens to XV? XV, if that's 10 right there, then that's 5. And HV, that's 5. If that's 10 there, HI is 10, then this is the midpoint, so that's 5 and 5. And VI is also 5. Again, this is the midpoint. And if you draw a line right across from one midpoint here to this one, that makes that 10. So that's a 5, and that's a 5. And the base edges are GJ, JI, and IH, and GH are the base edges. The pyramid height is PX, and the slant height is off the side, so it's PV. So just making sure you know what the pyramid height is as opposed to the slant height, which is the side of the triangle, the height of the triangle. Okay, let's go on and see if we can do some problems. Here I have, I'm doing 3 for you, excuse me. Find the surface area of each square, square pyramid. Square pyramid means the base is a square. So we have a square pyramid, the base is a square. So that side is 8. This side is 8 from here to here, and right through here, that's an 8. So all the sides at the bottom are 8 because it's a square. And the height is from S down to the midpoint, right there. That's the height of the pyramid. This is the slant height. So this SH is the slant height. So it's the height of the triangle, which is 6, or it's the slant height of the side of the pyramid. But so this is the slant height, or the height of the triangle. And we want to work out the base area. The base area is a square, so it's S squared, so it's 8 squared. So the base area is 64 in a centimeter, so centimeters squared. And the lateral area is the area of the sides. So one triangle is a half. The base of the triangle is 8. All sides are 8. And the slant height of the triangle is 6. So the height of the triangle is the slant height of the pyramid. So to keep that in mind, so half of 8 is 4, and 4 times 6 is 24. But there are 4 triangles, so it's 4 times that area. So it's 4 times 24, and that makes it 96. So the surface area is the base area plus the lateral area, and the base area is 64. And the lateral area is 96. When you add all that up, you get 160. And again, it's centimeters squared. And this area is centimeters, cm squared, and this is 96 centimeters squared. Area is square. Okay, we have another one. So we have a square, again, this is a square base pyramid. The bottom is a square. This is a square. This is the height of the pyramid, AH, and this is the slant height of the pyramid, or the height of the triangle. So if I redraw that diagram just for a second and say that's A, and that's H, and that's L, and there's a right angle. So it says AL is 26. It says that AH is 24. So in order to, we have the height, we have the slant height, but we don't have the side. So we have to call, we can call this S for this X we want. So we go right straight through there and say that's an X right there. So when we work this out, we get C squared is A squared plus B squared. And C is opposite the right angle, so C is 26. And we got a 24, and we have an X. So that's the C, that's the A, and the B. As long as you call 26 the C, the other two make no difference, which is which. And 26 squared is 676. 24 squared is 576. And that means you got 676 subtract 576. Move it over, make it a minus. That gives us 100. And so x is the square root of 100. So x is equal to 10. And so if x is 10, x is this distance from the midpoint here to the midpoint of the altitude hits the base. So that means that the side of the square is double that. Because if that's 10 from there to there, all the way across is 10 more, so that's a 20. And that distance there is the same as this distance. So the side of the square is 20. Now we have the side of the square, we have the slant height, we have, if that's a 20 there, then that's a 20 right here, and that's a 20 right here, and from here to here, that's a 20. So the side of the square is 20. So now we can get the base area. So the base area is a square, so it's a 20 squared. So the base area is 400 and it's feet, so it's square feet. And the lateral area is the area of a triangle, which is a half the base times the height. And it's a half of the base of this triangle is 20. And the height of this triangle is the 26. So the triangle, that's the base, and that's the height. So if you went down right here to the midpoint, this would be a 26, and that'd still be 20 because they're all the same. So that's 10 times 26, so that's 260. But there's 4 of them, so the area is 4 times the area of one triangle. So it's 4 times 260. So that gives 4 times 260 gives us 1,040. So the surface area is the base area plus the lateral area, and the base area we found to be 400. Oh, I forgot to put square feet on these. Understood, but make sure. And the lateral area is 1,040. So altogether, that gives you 1,440. and again it's square feet. So in order to work, excuse me, in order to work this out, you had to get the length of the side, and we had to use the Pythagorean property. And we got another one to do. The area of the base is 140. Okay, so if you think about it, you gotta, let's just draw one of these very quickly. There it is. So we have the base area is the bottom. So if the base area is 144, and the area of the base is a square, s squared, so that means 144 equals s squared. So s is the square root of 144, so s is equal to 12. So that means the side of the square is 12, 12, 12, and 12. And the slant height is 13. So if you drew a triangle, you have the slant height coming down here, which is 13, and you got the bottom is 12. So there's your slant height. If I go over right here, down through here, right in the middle. So that slant height there is 13, and your bottom is 12. Look at this diagram. So the area of the triangle is a half the base times the height. The base is 12. The slant height, which is the height of the height of the triangle, is a slant height of 13. That gives me 6 times 13, which makes 78. And there's 4 triangles, so it's 4 times 78. And that gives 312. And again, notice that this is 12 feet because it's just the length of the side. This is 78 square. Oh, I said feet. My mistake. It's meters, so it's square meters. So that's square meters. And we have the base area. We're already given the base area is 144. So the surface area is the base area plus the lateral area. The base area given to it as 144. And the lateral area was 312. We worked at one triangle, and we have multiplied by 4, and all together is 456 meters squared. That's the total surface area. Excuse me. And let's continue. Now, practice means you work these out. Work one out at a time. See if you get the right answers. Hopefully everything works out. You understand. So we have a square pyramid again. And if we draw a little tiny diagram very quickly, get used to drawing them. And you just go up in the middle, down to the two sides like that. And we have a square base pyramid. The base edge is 10, 10, 10, 10 because it's a square. And the slant height is the height of the side. So we come down here and we get 6. So that's the height, that's the slant height of the pyramid, but it's the height of the triangle. So the base area is the area of a triangle, which is a half the base times the height. And now that's the base area is a square. Now that's not good. The area of a square, the base is a square. Now what am I trying to? I'm thinking about triangles all the time. So we got 10 squared. So the area of the base is 100, and it's inches, so it's inches squared. 100 inches squared. The lateral area is a triangle. Now we're back on the right track. Triangle is that the base is 10. That's a half. And the height is 6. The height of the triangle is the slant height of the pyramid. So that's 5 times a half of 10 is 5. 5 6s make 30. And there's 4 triangles, so it's 4 times the area. So it's 4 times 30. That's 120. And now we got this surface area is the base area plus the lateral area. And the base area is 100. The lateral area is 120. So that gives us 220. And it's in inches. So that's square inches right there. That's square inches right there. And the final answer is 220 square inches. Number 2, find the surface area, and let's see what we have. We have HE is 15, so that's the height. We got the length of the base is 16, so we need this. We don't have the slant height. Well, we got, let's see, we can work out the area of the base. The base area is the area of the square, which is s squared. So that's 16 squared. 16 squared is 256 as millimeters squared. But we need the slant height. The slant height is the distance from the top down here to the middle at perpendicular. So that means we need to form a right triangle. And that means that if this distance here is 16, that means this distance right here is 8. So there's E. Let's call that P right there. So let's call that P and call that H so you can identify the triangle. So we have an 8 and we have HE is 15. So we need to find what we call the height, the slant height, or we can call it the H, or we can call it the L, call it what you want. Anyway, C squared is A squared plus B squared. In this triangle, L is the slant height. 15 and 8 are the two sides. 15 squared is 225, 8 squared is 64. So L squared is 289. L is the square root of 289. L is equal to 17. And again, it's millimeters because it's just a length, not an area. So the surface area, we have the base area, and we have the area. Now we got to get the area of the triangle. So the area of the triangle, so we're looking for the lateral area now. So the area of the triangle, T, is a half the base times the height. So that's a half the base is 16. So it could be this is 16, that's a 16, that's a 16, that's a 16. And the slant height that we just found was 17. So 8 times 17. And what does that give us? 136. And there's 4 triangles. 4 times the area of 136. And that gives us a total of 4, so 540. And it's millimeters squared. That's millimeters squared because we're dealing with area. And so we have the base area, which is 256. We have one triangle, we multiply by 4, we got 540. So the surface area is the area plus the lateral area. So the base area is 256. The lateral area is 544. And altogether, that ends up to be 800 millimeters squared for the total surface area of this square base pyramid. And again, if you pause the video and work these out to see if you can work them out yourself, excellent math here. You're working the things through, you're working your Pythagorean, you're working your formulas, and again, memorize your formulas, memorize how it's derived, and that's very important. Now we have a square base pyramid, we're told on the top. So we have this, let's draw a square base pyramid. There it is, just to get a picture of what's happening. It says the lateral area is 80. Now the lateral area is 80. But the lateral area has 4 triangles. So the area of the 4 triangles is 80. So if we divide by 4, the area of one triangle, that's the triangle now, is 20. I got the triangle drawn. So if the area of one triangle is 80, and the slant height is 10, so the area of a triangle is half the base times the height, and so the area of one triangle is 20, and the slant height of that triangle, which which is slant height, of the pyramid is the height of the triangle, which is 10, we get 20. Half of 10 is 5. So 5b is 20. So that means base is 4. So if the base of this triangle is 4, that's the side of the pyramid, the base edge of the pyramid. So the area of the pyramid, the base of the pyramid, is the area of the triangle, which is s squared. So s is 4. So that means my triangle has an area of 16 meters squared. And we're already told that the lateral area is 80 from the beginning. And so that means the surface area is the base area plus the lateral area. And the base area came out to be 16. The lateral area is 80. So the area is 96, and it's meters squared. Again, the question is worked around reverse. Everything else we did was working it with getting the base area, getting the lateral area, getting a triangle multiplied by 4. But this is reversed. And why not? You have to think going reverse to work the math and understand what's happening. And if you like my video, click on the like button. Click on the subscribe button if you're not a subscriber. Click on the notification bell because there's more videos coming. And if you are a subscriber, write a comment. And visit my math website, mathfullyexplained.com, where you have a section on me and a section on the strategies you're going to use to help you learn your math. And there's a section on the content that I have under my YouTube channel. Black font is there already. The red font is what I'll be putting there in the future. Thank you very much for viewing my video. Bye-bye.